Good evening, everyone. You are listening to the Garnet and Old Show, 7 o'clock on a Thursday night. I'm Ryan. That's Vince. Vince Maya, the father of Garnet and Old, the granddaddy of them all. How are you?
As I like to refer to as the Grand Poobah,
Mm.
Ryan. I'm doing great. You don't sound like your normal chipper self tonight, Ryan.
Yeah, it's been a long day. Rushing around, going crazy. It's what it is. It's the Thursday feels before going into work on a Friday. So, but I'm pumped up for Garnet and Old. I'm This is like the tonic I've been waiting for when I got home.
Speaking of tonics, I have a tonic with me, a little margarita that was made by my fantastic wife, knowing that I like to kind of calm the edges a little bit when we do the show. So that's good for me to have. And I wanted to mention when I said the Grand Poobah.
Mm.
For those of you that are old like me, know who the Grand Poobah is. But we were having a discussion at work the other day about when you reach a certain age and your kids are starting to maybe think about, they're going to get married someday, and then maybe they're going to have kids, right? And then you go, oh, I'm going to have grandkids, and this is not like I'm saying I'm going to be a
Yeah, I was gonna say,
grandfather.
are you trying to
No,
tell me
no,
something?
this isn't the big reveal. This is just a lead in from the story. Is
Yeah.
that at some point those grandkids make a decision on what they're going to call you, right?
Mhm.
And you maybe in your brain you want to be called something special, but I'm telling you, whatever that kid chooses to call you is what they're going to call you.
Yeah.
And it could be something totally ridiculous because babies mess stuff up. But I think I'm going to be pushing for Poobah.
Mm. Yeah, I get it, Vince. In fact, nicknames as a whole is always a fun topic. We should do a whole topic on nicknames because uh, I think because my last name is Eastman. For
Hmm.
those of you who don't know, you might only know me as Big Papa East, but the East is for Eastman. Is my last name.
Hmm.
It opens up to a plethora of nicknames and turn of phrases. So currently at my office, everyone calls me Kanye East.
Hmm.
Now, and then one employee, because the wild and crazy Kanye West calls himself Ye or Yay. Now they call me Yeast or Yeast, and I'm like, well, that
Yeast.
doesn't sound good.
That doesn't sound good at all.
So I'll stick with Kanye East for now, but I don't know how I feel about the other part of it. But it's all in,
I,
it's all in good fun.
Yeah, I mean the nicknames you're going to get are the ones you're going to get. Sometimes they're warranted, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they are given to you with an emotional tie. It's like a feeling of connectedness. Sometimes it's just to rub you the wrong way
Or
and
a rhyme.
or rhyme. So
Yeah.
you're going to have to deal with that for your whole life. I've been called many things in my day with my last name, and that's just the way it goes.
Well, Vince,
Um,
I'm happy to call you friend, like our friends joining right now in our chat room. Hey, Doyle Smith, I'm happy you're here too.
Doyle, I'm so happy you're here, and I'm happy you're also not just here and commenting. Those are like if I give you the top three things that we would like Garnet and Old uh, faithful to do. First of all, be present. Doyle is present. Participate. Doyle is participating. And the third thing would be bring a friend. So if you are of the mind that you're enjoying this, whether it's the ridiculous banner at the beginning or hopefully the enjoyable content that we provide, tell your friends about it. And as we've been trying to get going here, we are steadily climbing toward the 1,000 mark. And every week, that number gets smaller and smaller as we get closer to the goal. Ryan has already said in the past, when we hit 1,000, that is the marker. He is going to be giving away a copy of college football 25. And if we hit the 2,000 mark by the time the game is released, Ryan himself will be awarding a console of your choice with a copy of the game.
And that's putting my money where my mouth is there, Vince. So as one is to do. And Vince, I do have a quick update. You might be happy about this.
Yeah, I'm always happy
I
about
got a
updates.
message from our designer.
Great.
So for those of you who don't know, I have been in talks with um, a animator who wants to, or I have asked him to do new graphics, icons, logos, everything, an entire portfolio for the Garnet and Old show to refresh our graphics package, kind of, you know, going along with the idea of getting to 1,000 subscribers and, you know, rebranding, kind of like a fresh start for the Garnet and Old show for next season.
Version 2. You're
Uh,
looking at version 1 right now.
Absolutely. So I have been working with Mr. Dagan Moriarty, and he messaged me today, Vince, and said he should have the work ready for delivery by Monday of next week.
Love it. I'm looking forward to that.
Which means now, when he says delivery, he means our meeting. We're going to meet with him. He's going to present it. If we have any creative
Modifications, changes,
modifications,
whatever. Yeah.
but I'm excited because he messaged me today, and I haven't messaged him in 7 days, which means that he's been actively working on the project. Now he has a job, so he's doing this in the evenings.
Don't we all?
Yeah, so much appreciated. And I have asked him, and he is interested, as long as the schedule works out, to the day that we debut the graphics to come on and talk about how he came up with the ideas and his
Yeah.
style.
Creative
And
process.
yeah,
Yeah, I
it'll be
love it.
fun. So
That would be a lot of fun.
be part of Garnet Old. We're gonna have a lot of changes, a lot of good changes, fun changes. We're gonna have new graphics, new and hopefully some new exciting news for 2024. But Vince, let's start with right now, February. Right, we're on the tail end of the leap year. This is a leap year day right now.
It is. It's leap day. Do you have any friends, Ryan, that were born actually on February 29th?
None that I know of, and I hope to never meet one.
Yep. I have one that I wished him a happy birthday today. It's kind of an interesting thing if you have a birthday on leap day. But yeah, so today is the last day of February, and today, like any other day for the last couple months, Ryan, we've
Mhm.
been wondering and waiting. When are we going to start talking about the freedom of Florida State, the freedom to, basically get what they're worth in the open market? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. We're not necessarily going to dive into all the detail of the legal stuff that's come out in the last couple of days. Or, by the way, there are plenty of shows out there that really get in deep detail about that, and sometimes we do too. But tonight's not the night for that specifically, and we'll talk about some of the things. But
Yeah.
we want to talk more about big picture,
Yep.
what we're thinking in terms of momentum, progress. Have our predictions changed at all? So, just high level, Ryan,
Yeah.
what has happened in the last week or so? Just high level, in case any of our viewers are not up to speed.
Really, it's what I like to call a back and forth of motions to dismiss and rejections and responses to motions to dismiss. And there is a thought that, Florida State, according to the ACC, should not have been able to share details like about the case. We already covered that. But Florida State, you know, has made the comments like it's very interesting that you guys, one upped us, and right when you heard before we even filed a lawsuit, you guys filed a lawsuit, which is in bad faith. Kind of got a little bit of a response to that, essentially saying, well, yes, the ACC is stating our grant of rights was at stake. So if we felt like you guys were about to file a lawsuit on a Friday at the end of the week, then we felt compelled to do it first because we have to protect our agreements.
By the way, the continuity cam is really doing well there for you. It's keeping you right in frame.
Is it too much?
No, it's just right. It's just right. What's interesting about
Just a
that
bit.
is in the in the ACC's rush to the courthouse, um, they did not follow their own procedures in order to make that happen. And those procedures included uh, getting the approval of a certain amount of the membership in order to go into a legal fight or into a legal
Yes.
situation.
And the ACC is stating that that doesn't matter because the president had the ultimate authority.
Well, and they're also with this latest thing, they're saying that even though we didn't follow it correctly, this amendment we did do correctly, and everybody agrees with what we did at the first time was the thing they wanted to do anyway, so everything's okay. Yeah,
Which doesn't make any sense
that's
logically.
not going to fly.
It's like if I
That's not
said, "Hey,
going to fly.
Vince, come work for me. You know what? I'm going to pay you $50,000 and you're going to do my kitchen for me." And then you begin to think about planning and you're going to do the kitchen for me, but you never tell me that instead of doing my kitchen, you're also going to do my bath. And you then do the work and I say, "Wait a minute, I thought you were supposed to get my agreement before like just adding work onto." I like seems like I would owe a lot of money to you now beyond our initial agreement. And you're like, "Well, but you agreed to our first agreement, so I just assumed it was all good."
Yeah, it's silly, it's ridiculous, it's not going to fly. And because of that, and this is my opinion, because of that, I believe the initial filing by the ACC is probably going to get dismissed,
Mhm.
which really means that Florida State's filing will be, the first to the courthouse.
Yeah.
Um, you can't retroactively say, even though I did it wrong the first time, because the second time I got approval to do it the first time, then it's okay. That's it's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it's an odd
It's
argument to make
unbelievable.
in the court of law. Um, it is entertaining.
It's
Uh,
entertaining.
what really boils down to because we told everyone, we're not really going to do
Yeah, yeah.
a
We're not
in
gonna
the
go deep
weeds
dive
talk,
legal.
but kind of where I'm feel really. Let's wrap it in a nice bow. Over the last 3 weeks, not a lot's changed. You've heard back and forth, some explanations here and there, but really the crux of the case, where we stand today, is no different than where, in my opinion, we predicted and we felt like we stood a month ago. Which is, I believe that the course will be heard in Florida, but that it won't matter because it'll never make it to a courtroom. Mainly, in my opinion, because the ACC slash in parentheses ESPN does not want open discovery of a lot of information. Thus, I believe that it's in the best interest of both parties to settle this case outside the courtroom, which I believe they will. And in my opinion, it will be in the realm of 150 to 200 million dollars for
Okay.
if they were to leave next season.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're right. The only thing that's different is we're getting closer to an actual date where something may be heard in court.
Hmm.
That's
Potentially.
that's the difference.
Mhm.
And ESPN has filed their thing about siding with the ACC in terms of, we believe the things that the agreements we have should be kept secret. But really, there's been no decisions yet on which things are being dismissed, which
Yep.
things are being which things are going to be deemed to be under seal. None of those decisions have been made yet.
Yeah.
So
And Doyle writes, just like all of you can at home who are watching this live, you can comment and we will try to bring your question or comment on the show. Doyle writes, people will take advantage when available. That's what the ACC did to FSU. Yes. And make no mistake about it. If FSU felt like they could take advantage of the ACC, they would have. Really, any business, if they feel like there's a loophole or a situation that they feel like they can take advantage of, they would. Most businesses would, at least. Now,
well,
you have to be willing, though, to pay the piper if that gets found out in a court situation.
As Nole fans, the part that gets me is they didn't just take advantage of Florida State. They have taken advantage of every member
Mm-hmm.
in the conference.
Yep.
The ACC leadership has taken advantage of every member in the conference by not being forward thinking and taking care of business and doing what they could possibly do to further the value and the marketability and the whatever we want to call it, of every member institution. And you and I, Ryan, we make fun of a lot of them, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of what rivals do and what conference mates do. You make fun of each other. But really, I mean, Wake Forest should be concerned and upset that the ACC leadership did not do better by them.
Yeah.
Boston College should care.
They should. Yeah.
Syracuse should care. None of them have said diddly do, to quote a friend of ours.
Absolutely. And Vince, here I'm gonna zoom in for this one. Come here. Come here.
It's just a little behind the scenes.
I'm gonna hate a little bit on a fan base.
You don't say.
I want you to clip out everyone. Hey, make a clip of what I'm about to say. Put it on social media. 30-second clip.
I'm gonna mark this.
Stanford fans, get the hell out of here with your ridiculous comments on social media this week, on FSU posts, on our friend of the show, Rohan Law's posts. Guys, no, but you are an irrelevant piece of a football program. You do not matter in football. You are literally going to play essentially for free in the ACC, okay? And you haven't won anything of note in a actual money-making sport in forever. So the fact that you're going to come and all of a sudden out of nowhere hop on a bunch of FSU accounts and start, talking smack, saying, all these national championships, guys, no one cares what you did in the 1920s in water polo. Okay. You are an academic institution. That is the only reason you are relevant. And I'm not taking that away from you. But when we're talking about FSU getting out of the ACC and, what it's going to take, stand down. Because at the end of the day, the adults in the room are talking, the ones that earn revenue off of sports. So why don't you see yourself out of the room, see yourself out of our comment sections, because I'm done with Stanford fans this week.
Fantastic. That's fantastic. You should have started that with no offense, because that would have been even better.
It's in the Geneva Convention. I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, you can. Listen, I get it. If my university was not courted by one of the big two, which Stanford was not, like when it was time for the Big Ten to gobble up some teams from the Pac-12, Stanford wasn't one of them.
Yep.
So the only reason why Stanford and Cal are in the ACC is because Notre Dame, who has way too much pull for not doing a darn thing in this conference, and the conference bent over so Notre Dame could get their buddies into the conference. You're getting me a little angry now, Ryan, because
I think you're almost as angry as the big Lubbock who writes in Stanford is a cancer. That is why Kansas, K-State, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech blocked their entrance into the Big 12. Well done, the big Lubbock. And
Big Lubbock, welcome, Big Lubbock. I don't think I've seen that name.
Hey, the big Lubbock, welcome to the show. I want you to share out this episode
on do it right
social
now.
Channels and tag some Stanford people, because I would love some Stanford people to join live right now or come in our comment section later.
We've had haters before.
Try to defend your athletic performance in money-making sports and try to compare yourself to FSU. It's impossible.
Here's the thing, is that no school should be faulting Florida State's want for better. None of them. whether you're in the ACC or not. There is not a riot, or there's not a fan base out there that should look at Florida State and go, "How dare you try to better your environment?"
Yeah,
How ridiculous is that?
I agree. And so does Paul Clifton. Welcome to the show, Paul. It's an
Welcome,
absolute
Paul.
embarrassment having to be associated with this conference. Well done, sir.
Well,
Absolutely.
I mean, they had a chance. The ACC has had chances over the years to make better, more forward-thinking decisions, and they didn't do it. So, you've been lapped over and over again, and the death knell is tolling.
Mm.
Um, it's only a matter of time.
All right, Vince. I think we're both predicting essentially that settlement is still the likely outcome. I don't think any of the emotions in the last 2 weeks have really changed that at all. So at the end of the day, FSU and FSU is going to settle with the ACC, and they're going to get out for less than they owed. I think that's where we're both at. You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm still haven't changed my mind on that. There's nothing that's happened recently from any filings, amendments, retorts, answers, whatever. There's nothing that's changed my mind on that.
Mhm.
And so, if you came here looking for the latest um, news bomb, um, there hasn't been any. There hasn't been any news bombs. So I believe that 2026 is still, if I was gonna give it a percentage, I would say I'm leading 2026 60%, 2025 40%.
Yeah, I'm flipping those numbers for me.
Yeah, I figured you would be. Yep.
Yeah. One last thing to wrap the Stanford Cal stuff into a nice neat bow. I think the Big Lubbock writes, and thank you so much for participating in the show. First of all, Stanford and Cal fans are fewer in number than Miami fans. Until this
That's
week, it's like we haven't had back and forth with Stanford fans ever really on social media, and then it's almost like someone like shined a light in their like dark cave, and they're just hissing at us from the cave.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how that comes about. I said on a show a few months ago, like sometimes you get on the tail end of a Twitter back and forth, and you're not really sure where it all started. So maybe some overzealous Knoll fan went out a cardinal, who knows, or a tree or whatever the mascot is.
Yeah, I'm not sure
Uh,
what the situation
um,
there is.
but the end result is, you're going to get some fan backlash for that. But one of the things that, if you have any pride at all, you don't stack up championships in handball versus college football national championships. It
Yeah,
it doesn't equate. Like it doesn't compute. And I'm not, again, you took a little harder stance on this, Ryan. I'm not diminishing the fact that Stanford's athletic programs in general aren't good.
yeah,
Not what we're talking about. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what matters. And what matters is viewership and dollars and market share and making sure you have a seat at the table. Um, and by the way, Stanford and Cal and SMU,
SMU. Yeah,
you hopped onto a sinking ship.
yeah. They saw the Titanic shipping, and they were like, "Hey, you guys got any more room there?"
There's a couple lifeboats.
Yeah,
There's only 3 lifeboats, I think, maybe 4 lifeboats, and
yeah.
those are already spoken for. So pretty much, you may be floating on a piece of debris while Leonardo DiCaprio, tugs you down in the cold, frigid waters of the
Mm.
North Atlantic.
I love that we're throwing Titanic references in here. That makes my day. Uh,
Cheers.
cheers, sir. Uh, listen, Vince. Before we go on, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns that you want to be featured for an extended segment on the show right now, if you want that and you want to help out your boy Vince and your boy Ryan, because guess what? Big Papa East, we got to pay the bills.
Yeah, you're not Kanye West.
I'm not Kanye West. I'm Kanye East. And so that being said, if you have something you want us to talk about in length, We have super chat available now.
We do.
You don't have to give a lot, just give a little, and we will talk about your whatever your topic or question is in detail
Yeah,
if you
we'll
want to
spend
be
some time on
featured on
that.
the show.
We'll
So
spend some
thank you
time
for
on that.
anyone who gives, because again, Vince and I are sitting here like Tiny Tim asking for a plate here. So
It's getting kind of harsh out here, right?
yeah, it has to. Times is hard, Vince. Yeah.
Times are tough. Yeah, super chats available for you there if you want to donate to the cause. And Ryan and I will spend probably an inordinate amount of time on the question or comment you put up there.
Absolutely. Vince, what do we got next?
What we got next? Let's talk about the combine, right?
Mm,
Let's talk about
I love the videos
what's
today.
yeah. Let's talk about the combine. If you're in the chat, if you're watching right now, do you pay attention to the combine? A lot of people do. Some people don't. I pay attention to it just to see what the Noles are doing, right? The last couple years, there wasn't really much of a reason for VC Knoll to watch much of the combine. But this year, there's a lot of reason to watch it, or at least to catch up on the replays or whatever is going on Twitter or
Yep.
Facebook or whatever. So, what stood out to you so far, Ryan?
Brandon Fisk and how
Braden.
Sorry, I always do that.
I do that too.
I've done this like 16 times across the season this year. How fast he is. Vince, he ran like a 4.740.
4.78. He ran a 4.7840.
And that's a big man.
292, 6'3". I put some notes here because I don't remember this stuff offhand. 6'3", 292, ran a 4.7840, which I believe is faster than me.
Yeah.
And not only that, if you haven't watched this video, you gotta go watch it because you can hear the audio. And right when he's crossing the 40-yard line, he goes, "Oh yeah." Like he knew he was flying.
They have people timing them for weeks before the scene where they can get. They all have a ballpark or where they're pretty sure they'll get, but it just feels good to put the official number out there. But Vince, I'm gonna be frank. The combine footage, it made me sad.
It did because like we're saying here, it's further proof, man. It's further proof that the snub was even more ridiculous than we've been saying for months.
Because even though he's draftable, you know who wasn't on the footage today? Jordan
Who's
Travis,
that?
who apparently is the greatest player of all time that could ever have taken a team from being snubbed into the pageant. And all you saw was stud after stud after stud that could have and likely would have dominated on defense versus anyone we would have played in the playoff. And that's why I was sad watching it.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. And you've seen it on social media today. Many Seminole fans are angry, or at least they've not been angry since the snub. It's just been festering, right?
Mhm.
It's been simmering. But as new proof comes out, it bubbles to the top. It's like, okay, I've got that burner and the burner's simmering, but I need to bring this up a little bit. I need to make sure I got to stir the gravy, right? I got to stir it, make sure it doesn't stick. Every now and then it bubbles up. The combine today is another, and this weekend is another reason, more proof that what happened in December is unacceptable, unconscionable, and the people that perpetrated the injustice should be ashamed of themselves, should be held accountable. Unfortunately, won't, except maybe in Dublin. It's just another reminder of how Florida State was not given what it earned.
Especially when you look at the history of both college and pro football and how many teams with offenses that were not good won championships with defense.
Pedestrian offenses.
Yeah. I mean, we have example after example over the history, the last 20, 30 years, if you want to keep it to modern history, of really, really, really just stacked defenses carrying the day and winning championships. The actual term, the defense wins championships, is what we base it on, and so it's like it just makes me really really frustrated.
Yeah, it's again, we're just going to be angry. We're just going to, and it's going to be with us forever, Nole fans. And rivals can say what they want to say, and they can
Yeah,
laugh about it. But and if they don't, and if they're just doing it to be rivals, just to kind of get at you, I get it. We would do the same thing. But if they actually believe that, if they
yeah.
believe in their heart of hearts, if they intellectually believe that Florida State didn't deserve to be in the pageant, then that's intellectually dishonest, or they are just plain stupid.
And it comes down to what Paul Clifton writes: ESECPN. Yes, that's exactly right.
Let's see. So this little clip here of this is a Jared Verse run.
Looks
Let's see
like
what we got here.
your internet's struggling. It's hurting your.
Let's do a little refresh.
Come on, Elon, what's going on here?
Hey man, AT&T was already down with my cell phone. Now I got a problem here on my internet too. Of course, StreamYard seems to be running just fine.
The good news is, Vince, uh, I got your back if you freeze out of nowhere. Look at that
Oh, there you
on.
go.
Imagine that running towards you.
Hey, unofficial 458.
Now, just imagine that guy coming off the edge at you. It's terrifying. Do you have the Brandon Fisk clip?
I don't have that one up and ready to go. But if you are going to find that one on Twitter, please look for the one where they watch him run and then they do a replay and you can hear him go, "Oh yeah," right as he crosses the line. It's really
How is
good.
it possible that Jared Verse got bigger? It's
Uh,
just
I, I don't know.
that's
Um,
incredible.
so yeah, I guess this page is not going to load. So there you go.
Wow.
Who else? We get any other word on combine? I think those are the two main ones so far.
Yeah, those are the ones
Um,
that most people, the numbers jumped off the page, right? I mean, it was like, whoa.
yeah, I think Braden
Yeah.
was the fastest um, defensive tackle on the day.
Other
Um,
than another, I forget what team he's on. Remind me if you're in the chat what team this guy's on. The tight end who's in the combine who once said, "Are we even sure birds are real? Have you ever seen a baby pigeon? Is it possible that they land on power lines to recharge?" Um, yeah, look
no,
that
wait,
up,
wait,
Vince.
wait. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I'm not going to look it up right now, but I
I wonder
will.
how
I
that
will.
QA went in the NFL interview room for a guy who thinks birds are not real are drones.
Drones, probably flat Earth.
Yeah, probably. I would assume.
Probably flat Earth on that scenario.
Yeah.
Um, what else combine wise? So the combine's going on obviously for the rest of the weekend, and you can. I have friends that watch every minute of it.
Vince, do you
They're
think Vjaraverse goes number one?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I wish, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No, I don't think he'll go number one. The way Braden scored today, I wouldn't doubt. I would not shock me if Braden sneaks into the first round.
What round do you think our boy Jordan Travis goes?
It's a tough call, man.
I'm going to say late fifth, like end of the,
Yeah, fourth or fifth round, probably.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
he'll have to prove himself. The good news is I think Jordan Travis has perennial 15-year backup quarterback in the league. Good human being, smart, athletic, great on preparing your defense to play an elusive quarterback during the week. So that would be fun. Of course, I would like to see him start, but it's hard to project that. And I don't see his. We talked about it ever since he was in college. I don't know that necessarily his talent is 1-to-1 a good fit for the NFL game. Now, a lot of guys have proved me wrong recently. I mean, I never thought some of the guys who are lighting up the NFL are lighting up the NFL right now. But so he could
yeah,
prove us wrong. But I think at minimum you would be a very good backup to have on your team.
yeah. Ryan, I apologize for crossing over into your world there, but I saw that comment from Mr. Parker, who is a friend of the show and also on the show from time to time, talking about Kalen DeLoach ran a 4.47, currently number 2 among the linebackers. So that's pretty quick, man. And also,
He needed that though.
yeah, for sure, because his size,
Hmm.
like he needs something to balance out his size discrepancy, right?
Yeah.
And that's pretty swift, man. That's pretty fast.
Someone commented on Braden Fisk on the one of the Twitter comments that was like, "Give that man a tight end position, let with how fast he is. Like,
Right.
give him the rock, man, because he can fly, and with a body size like that, man. You could really do some damage, but probably doesn't have the hands. I would assume that's why he's playing his position.
Yeah. I'll let you handle the comments. Sorry there, Ryan. I
Yeah, the only
apologize.
other
We even
comment
talked
is
about this.
Doyle saying Travis could play another position. I'm not sure what other position he would play, but I think he's a good.
Mm.
Listen, he's a good quarterback. He's not like a Tim Tebow that is so awkward that he can't play the position, but he could play the position, but it just doesn't mean he'll be an NFL Hall of Famer.
No, exactly. And, keep in mind that Brock Purdy just went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that Jameis, he still is he wants to win a Super Bowl. He's out there.
I mean, who doesn't want to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, he wants to eat a W. Have you seen, Vince, the
Yes.
official merchandise? For those of you who haven't, uh, the Jameis Winston Eat a W T-shirt is now available.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I saw some. I saw. Was a Mountain Dew promotional
Yes, that was
interview.
great too.
It was really, really funny stuff.
Yeah, look up the Eat a W shirt after the show's over, Vince, and all of
Yeah.
you out there. It's fantastic. What's next,
Oh,
Vince?
did you catch? We're going on a tangent here, but did you catch the back and forth on X about um, some Gator fan posted something about name a Gator that's done anything
Oh yeah, I
anywhere
think he was
near
joking. I think
as
he was joking.
as destructive or disgusting as Jameis.
Yeah, I think that was in jest, to be
You
honest
think
with you.
so? I would hope so. I would
You
hope so
can't say that
because
with a straight face.
yeah, you can. Maybe just looking for engagement. You're looking for the bars to go up
Or it could
with
be a
that.
younger fan that, wasn't around when
True.
that
When
happened. So,
people got murdered.
I mean, it's been almost 20 years since the Gators won a national championship then. So,
Speaking of engagement, Ryan, this is
mhm.
a good time to plug going to YouTube and subscribing to the channel. If you're watching right now and you're watching on YouTube and you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. If you're watching on another social media platform, that's great, and we love it. And if you also have a YouTube account or a Google account, go on to YouTube and subscribe to the channel there too, if you do not mind.
Also, go subscribe to Renegade Report, our friends,
And Big 12 Mafia. I mean,
and Big
you
12
know,
Mafia, who we hoped may have time to come on the show. Something must have come up. Not a big
yep.
deal.
Rising tide lifts all boats. I saw a video today, and I'm not usually a big fan of Josh Pate. He's just a little too um, fence riding in general for me. Either say something and stick to it, or if
Yeah,
you're gonna reverse course, talk about why. Don't just reverse course and pretend like you didn't say what you said.
for sure.
But he had a good clip today. He had a good clip about competition and how you see competition, especially in this space, like in streaming or in podcasting or in creating or whatever. Um, his thought is it's not like the old days where I'm just going to paraphrase what he said here, but Ryan, you and I do a show at 7 on Thursdays,
Hmm.
and there's another show at 7 on Thursdays. In the old days, is like only one of us could get those views because that's the only time you could watch it, and there wasn't this ability to record
Sure.
and go back and watch stuff later. Times
Yeah.
are different now.
Hmm.
So do not be shocked when Ryan and I plug other shows.
Sure. That are on the same time sometimes.
So then sometimes they're on the same time as us. And for us, it doesn't. Obviously, if you have more people live, it's good because you can comment, and that makes that part of it more fun. But if you're jumping in here and you're going to go watch Renegade Report later, yes, absolutely do it. We love what they're doing. We love what Spiratics is doing, right? There's a lot of good stuff out there, and Big 12 Mafia, we've been on their shows quite a bit,
Sure.
and they've been on here. So,
And the
like I said,
reality is, Vince, the honest to God reality is, most of our views and I would assume most of the other channels' views, total views, if you did a percentage, come after the live has ended, where people watch it later that night, the next
when
day.
they have the right time to
Yeah.
watch it, for sure.
And I think
Yeah.
we all understand that.
And which is also why, most of the time when Ryan and I are done with our show, we'll say, "Hey, Renegade Reports having a show. Go over there right now and go participate there because they're good Noles and they are passionate and they love what they do, which is why we all love this."
It's the Seminole News Network,
Right on.
Maybe we should
Right
start a
on.
24-hour channel, Vince. Get this, that covers sports.
Yeah. Just covers Florida State 24 hours a day.
Yeah,
I mean,
there
it's
would be
happening
there
anyway.
would be some scraping of the barrels. We might have to go to ACC network levels and like start talking about
Tack
lacrosse.
glasses and this Flex Seal tape.
Mm,
All right, combine's over. The diatribe is over as well. Let's talk about some recent athletic success with the team. So, football is, for me, football is the sport that I probably watch with the most passion.
yeah, for sure.
But there are plenty of other sports that I am, passionately involved with too. Like I love basketball, women's basketball. I love men's basketball too, but I prefer the women's basketball more.
Hmm.
Um, both the women's team and the men's team have been playing well. I'd say the men's team is holding serve, as it were. They lost one, they won one. The women's team has been on a little bit more of a upward swing. The baseball team is currently undefeated, I believe,
Hmm.
and just hitting the long ball quite well.
Yeah,
By the way, the Garnet uniforms, the Friday night Garnet uniforms, are fantastic. Um, and so the baseball team's doing well. The softball team, after that tournament in St. Pete or Clearwater, has kind of turned it around a little bit. Now the competition isn't quite as good as they had
yep,
in the tournament there, but I don't think they've lost a game since. Um, and and I know there are more sports that are also doing quite well. So I just want to make sure that we, acknowledge that. And if there were games going on, I don't think there are any games going on tonight. Um, but there was last night. I think the men's team
yep.
played last night, or was that 2 nights ago?
Well, Kirk David Tony writes how about the basketball team being NC State on Tuesday night. Absolutely, yeah,
Oh
we
yeah, yeah.
definitely
Speaking of,
celebrated that.
speaking of that game in particular, um, all of a sudden the team can shoot like out of nowhere.
It is wild, isn't it? How I mean, basketball's streaky. That's how it is. You go on hot runs out of nowhere, then cold streak.
Yeah, but I mean, like for a while there, it was almost like there's no middle ground.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's like they were just struggling, and they would, someone would jack up a three, which you have to have. You have to have a three ball game. You have to have that in your team.
yep,
Otherwise, you're not going to do well. Thank you, Golden State. But all of a sudden in this game, they seem to drop.
yeah.
Um, and they had a lead and they kept the lead, which is a good sign as
It
well.
is. Yeah, the effort's never been the problem. And hey guys, just like the effort all of you watching, real quick, I wanna say something, Vincent. I'm gonna get to Parker's comment here in a second. For those of you who are watching on Facebook, we love that you watch it there. You can continue watch it there forever. But open another tab, go to YouTube, type in Garnet and Old, and subscribe to the Garnet Old YouTube channel. That'll help us get to our 1,000 goal. And then you can pop back over onto Facebook once you subscribed and continue to watch on Facebook. Because really, the 1,000 goal is on YouTube specifically. So
Yep,
just want to throw that
it
out
is.
there.
It is.
Parker, our friend of the show, women's basketball plays
Oh,
in 15 minutes. So Vince, we know what we're doing when we get off the
yeah,
show.
absolutely. As a matter of fact, like I was about to say, when I was trying to remember what day the men's team or the men's game was, like my days are crushed together right now, and I know a lot of you feel that way too. So that's exactly what I'm going to do as soon as this show is over. I'm going to have, one of our friend shows might be on my phone while I'm watching the game, because it's
Vince is
time
deep in the
to.
Twitter sphere these days, the X sphere. I mean, you're through the looking glass now, Vince.
No, man, I'm doing it all. Hey, listen, when you're a fan of one of the uh, greatest universities, you have to commit the time, man.
The
You know that.
Groundhog Day post every day is fantastic. Though I look forward to it every day. The clip from Georgia Tech beating Miami, and I love that
Hmm.
you comment on it every day
Every day,
because it
because if that
reminds me of
guy,
that play.
yeah, listen, if that guy's going to commit, BW Knowles, if you don't follow him on Twitter, please do. If that guy's going to commit to posting that clip every day, I'm going to back him up, and
Absolutely.
I'm going to back him up every day, because that's what we do here. Moving on,
Mm,
Ryan.
let's do it. Go ahead,
What
sir.
is what does it mean? I'll leave it to you. I'm gonna save you here,
Save me, Vince.
folks. Do you know how to be part of the solution?
I thought you were going to talk about the spring game being on 420.
No, actually, but
Uh,
that's pretty funny.
yeah,
Very good for you.
yeah,
That's a good. By the way, the spring game is on 420. Ryan, are you going?
I'm going. Yeah, of course. Well, I would
Okay.
never miss the spring game and seeing Doak half demolished.
So shout out to everybody that's going to the spring game on 420 at Doak
Yeah,
Campbell. Garnet and Old will be there, and we will find some kind of thing to do, to kind of bring the Garnet and Old faithful together if you're there. All right, let's talk about how to be part of the solution. Great Give. The FSU Great Give is on March 6th. And what is the Great Give? It is a one-day, pretty much fundraise-a-thon for a bunch of projects related to Florida State. Okay. And the beautiful thing about the Great Give is, during certain times of the day, they have certain like multipliers on, right? So for example, from 10 to 11, the project that gets the most brand new donors will get an additional $10,000 or something like that, right? So they'll have these extra incentives that go on throughout the day. So that's happening on March 6th. So in your brain, if you're thinking, man, I know Ryan and Vince have been telling me that the Chiefs need to send more people to games, but I just haven't done anything about it yet, this would be a great day to do it. So if you go to that page, there's a College of Music. It's like I'm training, right? There's a College of Music
it's like it's your
uh,
job.
link. It's like it's my job. So you would go there, and you see there are 2 projects available for the College of Music. And then you can see one of them is for Marching Chiefs to Dublin. And then you click on that, and lo and behold, look at this. This is one of the ways you can be part of the solution to help get a large number of the Marching Chiefs to Dublin. You can see their goal here is for $125,000. Now you're saying to yourself, how is it possible that they can raise $125,000 on a singular day? I'm telling you, it is possible, and I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
We got
They are going.
space.
They are going to raise that money. And they're going to raise that money because of people like Garnet and Old viewers, right?
Absolutely.
And
I'm gonna donate.
everybody just sharing it out, right? $5, $2, $3, $25, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. It's all about volume. So you need to get it out there and get it to the people.
We
That's
should do
being part.
a rabies awareness fun run where all the money goes towards marching Chiefs to Dublin
I love it.
for the
Yes,
cure.
for the cure. Rabies awareness. Yes. And then we talked about this last week. MADSO with their commitment to the Chiefs. You can get either this nice Marching Chiefs Limerick shirt or the long sleeve shirt or the pint glasses. Majority of the purchase here goes to the Chiefs.
I like the
And
glasses.
the glasses are cool, man. This ends, by the way, March 4th. Okay. So the last time to purchase these will be March 4th. And our friends at MadSo, always stepping up to the plate and helping. By the way, also, the FSU Student Foundation, which is an organization on campus, has chosen the Marching Chiefs to be their beneficiary for the Great Give. So if you're gonna donate money to the FSU Student Foundation, like that's their thing that they're promoting. So I venture to say that Send the Chiefs All the Damn Time has become a movement. It's become a movement. We're not quite ready for the coaches clubs yet. I checked this today. The coaches clubs, I do not see the Chiefs on there yet. But I do have a little tidbit to tell you that when it is live, we're going to have a special guest on the show to talk about the FSU Marching Chiefs being a member or being part of the coaches club that you can donate to as well. And I won't give away who it's going to be yet. But there will be a very important special person that has agreed to join the show to talk about how important it is to support the Chiefs.
Very good news, sir. And send the Chiefs all the damn time. Vince, we're getting towards the end here, my friend.
That's a lot of talking on my part.
How about Tracy writing in, bring David Plack to the show?
Yeah, he will join the show at some point. Dave is Dr. Plack is very busy man. But at some point we will have him on the show. By the way, he is not the person I was referencing as far as a special guest. It's a different person. But
you could have played a little coy there. Like, could it be? Yeah.
Could it be? That's right. Could it be?
I mean, it could be just me showing up.
Well, that would be special too.
Yeah. Every day with me and you together, Vince, is a special day.
It's a special day, right? Let's see. Did we hit all the banners?
Yeah, because I want to save the conference the playoff talk for when we can get Big 12 Mafia on the show.
Yes, we're going to talk about next week's show, or if anything quick happens with the college football playoff pageant changes. If something happens between now and next Thursday, we'll do another show. But there's a lot of really interesting stuff being bantered about.
There is
with the pageant, and I know that Nathan and maybe some of the other guys from Big 12, Moen, Immaculate View, they have strong feelings about this, and they would be great to have on the show.
Absolutely. Well, Vince, as always, it's been a pleasure joining you here on a Thursday night, Friday Eve, as I like to think of it. It's always happy going into a Friday. And thank all of you. I feel like, Vince, the way I'm talking tonight, I'm like Delilah on the radio. Did you have a rough week? Did you not get the promotion you wanted?
Delilah. If you're in the comment section and you want Ryan to play a special song for you, he will do it and he will talk about it. But screw ESPN eternally. By the way, we haven't.
That's what Delilah would say.
She would say that. You all need to, if you have not already, please follow Ryan. Please follow me.
In general, just follow me around.
Please follow Garnet and Old on Twitter, on Facebook, on whatever. And, like we were saying at the beginning of the show, tell your friends, bring your friends. And I think that's Ryan takes requests. Yes, Ryan takes requests. He can take requests.
I do. I'll sing whatever you guys want. I'll do some Sinatra or something like that.
Yes, it's a good time to wrap up. Do we have any other shows coming up on YouTube here for some of the other?
I don't know that Renegade Report is going live, but they are. Hey, no matter what, after you're done watching us, go subscribe to the Renegade Report, and you'll know when they're going live, whenever they do.
True. Spiratics, Big 12, Mafia. Go follow them all. Good people. You will not be disappointed.
I'm gonna give a shout. I'm sure most of you are. Go subscribe to War Chant. We've had Jeff Cameron on. He's in the friend network too.
I love them all.
But guess what? Most of you have heard of them. We're trying to get you connected with channels you may not have heard of.
Yep. Good people, good shows, fun content, and
you know how there's you know
oh boy, here we
I'm
go.
cracking myself.
You're not even drinking.
You know how there's big pharma?
Yeah.
War Chant's big Noles,
Yeah, you got to have it. You got to have the injections.
But we're down here in the mud,
Grassroots.
Grassroots movement.
Grassroots movement. Send Chiefs all the damn time. Speaking of, great give. Do it.
Go Noles.
Go Noles.
Have a good night, everyone.